Well, this is a rather interesting new splash screen, isn't it? Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamek, this is Limbus Company. We have an update. A new seasonal event. Let's catch up once we're done with the download. Oh, look at this. It's a login event. Make sure you keep logging in so you can get all this cool stuff like extraction tickets and the Limbus Company anniversary banner and the Angela announcer and first birthday bonuses. If you already acquire this, then you get 50 thread crates instead. Anyway, oh, wait. No. We don't want to create crates yet because it's going to be eating a lot of Angerfelon. There's a new extraction, it looks like. Yield my flesh to claim their bones. We have Blade Lineage Mentor Mersault. Blade Lineage Solsu Forced. Kurokumo Clan Captain Gregor. There's actually a fourth identity available, but it's tied up with the event grind, so let's just see what we can get with the few tickets that we have on hand. One Deca Extraction Ticket 1, please. Oh wow, that's a bad pull. We didn't even get the Gregor one. This is making me pay for getting Ahab in one go.
아이고 맛있다. 한 번만 더.
And we do have some lunacy to spare, so let's see if we can get something even shinier from Aldous. Oh, 2.
출전 전야는 반드시 고요한 법이죠. 마침 달도 가득 차올랐군요.
착수하지 않는 겁니까? 돌을 던질 수밖에 없는 형국이군요. 우리는.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? Discord needs to be muted. Okay, so we have 3 new identities. I guess we should slot them into story because apparently they will help with grinding, but anyway, uptie. I cannot afford much in the way of uptie, so we won't get to see what their stories are. We'll get to that eventually. So, gain poise count, and slash power up next turn. Gain 1 slash power up next turn, but he only gets it once, so don't get greedy. If we uptie it, then he gives out Swordplay of the Homeland Rending to other Blade Lineage allies. Or he applies 1 Swordland of the Homeland Penetrating. Rending increases skill 1. Penetrating increases skill 2. And the number is based on highest absolute resonance. In this encounter, when this unit takes damage that brings their HP down to 0, Nullify that damage. Then this unit's HP cannot drop below 1 for the turn. Yeah. This is a reference to the Blade Lineage reception that you had in Library of Ruiner. Makes up for them actually not having any proper story, they were just random people you could invite to kill and take their stuff. When this unit gains poise or poise count with its own skill or coin effects, give 1 poise potency and 1 poise count to 2 other Blade Lineage with the no poise or the least poise. If there are 6 or more participating in this encounter, give 2 poise potency and 2 poise count instead. He's giving out a lot. I can't tell how much of a tank he is because he's level 1 though. So, Blade Lineage Sosu, Forced. Gain 2 poise count. On crit, inflict 1 red plum blossom. It's a unique bleed with a max value of 10. 10% chance for this unit to be critically hit if this unit is the main target. Oh, that's nice. That's like 2 extra poise potency. When struck by a critical hit, gain bleed equal to half the value. Take value plus and take plus value percent extra damage on critical hit. Reduce the value by 1 when hit. So that doesn't seem quite as nice. And 2 red plum blossom for the acupuncture. Gain poise count, but you only get it when you hit them with a crit in the first place. That's a little backwards. Defense, redirect. For every 4 poise on self, gain final power plus 1 to a maximum of 3. If we uptie her, that's heads hit gives 1 poise. Gain 2 poise count and extra damage on a critical hit. Inflict bind next turn. On crit, inflict 1 red plum blossom 3 times max. It strikes me that Ishmael doesn't actually have anything for this reception, which is unfortunate because she has probably the best way to hand out free poise to everyone, doesn't she? I don't know whether I want to swap her over though, I like having enforced. And finally, what does Kurokumo Grega have for us? On Clash Win, inflict bleed, then inflict 1 bleed count. Ooh, that would be nice for maintaining bleed, wouldn't it? Shadow Cloud. Heads hit, inflict 2 bleed. On hit, inflict 1 offense level down, and if they have 10 plus bleed, inflict attack power down next turn. That's really brutal. I like it. Uptie it, and he gains clash power if the target has bleed. Alright. On Clash Win, inflict 1 bleed. That's where it's looking fun. Anyway, let's check out the new event. Yield my flesh to claim their bones. Earn Bloodied Scabbard via the following methods. Event stage and dungeon clears, mirror dungeon clears, main stage and dungeon first time clears. In rewards exchange, you can purchase various rewards by spending the Bloodied Scabbard you have collected. So let's see, what... it's the other way around. Oh wait, this is actually paying out. So we collect a lot of scabbards and then we actually pay for these things. And we could always get ourselves a Blade Lineage Don Quixote, right? We'll save looking at her in detail for when the time comes. I remembered there being something about a way to immediately send a character to maximum uptie level 40, but I don't see it in there. Is it this?
곧 열차가 들어오겠군. 이제야 재미가 생기겠어.
I don't see anything. I'll have to look at that later. Anyway, let's play the stages. It's been a while since we entered the T-Core back streets. The deeper we go into the back streets, the world outside the bus becomes increasingly colourless. Heathcliff, who's been looking out for a while, suddenly furrows his brow. So we're finally here, eh? Heathcliff looked out the rattling bus window with a dour expression. Oh, you'd better not be going Ishmael on me. Though it wasn't raining, the world outside was grey and opaque, like an overcast sky. Black pungent clouds of smoke had long devoured the atmosphere. So this is the kind of place Heathcliff used to roam. The colour remains this grey this deep into the heart of the back streets. I recall with quite the certitude that the T-Corp I arrived at within my departure was from S-Corp was sepia-hued. This phenomenon can be explained by the fact that technology used to drain our saturation is situated at the centre of T-Corp. It has been reported that such variations in hue may occur in areas further away from its sphere of influence. I understand. Then, two other sinners immediately jumped in on the conversation to direct it away from whichever obscure subject Yi-Seng and Forst were about to steer it into. Oi! Right, I had something to ask you guys. Oh yeah, me too. What? I mean, yeah, that's a... Oh yeah, the buildings here look a little different from where Yi-Seng used to live. So I'm just wondering if there's anything up with that. Exactly, that's what I was about to ask. It's been a while since we started on this journey together. We're starting to grow more comfortable with the sinners. Maybe that's why I found Gregor and Rhodey's valiant effort to keep this conversation remotely comprehensible to most occupants of the bus pretty amusing. Allow me to elaborate then. To discuss this subject we must first... And Yi-Seng unknowingly shooting down their effort by jumping onto another complicated discussion was another sight I'd become familiar with. While I was curious about the technology T-Corp uses to drain our colour, and about the behind the scenes of T-Corp's operations, it wasn't something that could be answered now. I decided to table that discussion for later. Instead, I approached Heathcliff. He was sitting on his lonesome, clearly deep in thought. I mean, to be fair, he's usually sitting on his own because he gets a seat all to himself. Only 3 people on this bus are allowed a seat to themselves. Ryoshu, Heathcliff, and frickin' Virgilius. All of them extremely dangerous people. Clockhead. Still racking your head about what to wear to Wuthering Heights? What? No, it's nothing like that. Heathcliff protested, jumping up from his seat. Looks like I hit the nail right on the head. Fine, I was. A little bit. But I was mostly reminiscing about the past. I do remember hearing that Heathcliff used to live in the back streets. A part of some syndicate, if I recall correctly. Virgilius did say that we were going through the back streets instead of going straight to the T-Core nest for a reason. And it was because of the company's orders. Maybe there's something for us to do here? Heathcliff did spend some time in the T-Core back streets after all. Maybe we'll run into a golden bough here? No chance. If the golden bough was as common as any other twig in some back streets, why would we be doing any of this globe-trotting waste of time? True, I guess. Besides, Wuthering Heights is quite the manor in more ways than one. You won't find it anywhere near some run-down back streets like this. There's a chasm of wealth between these poor alleyway sods and them. After all, they've sent me an invitation. Quite obvious we'll find a golden bough in that manor, ain't it? Or at least somewhere in the same nest. Correct. We will eventually travel to T-Core's nest. Heathcliff continued to speak in a low voice. The hubbub from outside the bus seemed to blend in with his words, turning into a mass of murmurs. There was a sort of commotion outside. Did we drive over someone again? Before we talk about whatever our eventual destination is, we'll have to clear the road of some blockage. Your intuition is half right, Heathcliff. Look! Heathcliff, who was muttering to himself in an uncharacteristic daze, jolted awake. Bloody hell! What's wrong with you and the vroom vroom less? Neither of you ever do anything with a proper forewarning. I simply do not see the necessity of warning you. Anyway, those outside the bus are our targets. Targets? I believe he means to say that they must be eliminated. I feel compelled to let you know that is not the only implication of the word target, though I'm yet to be informed of the precise details of this mission, that is. Regardless, you will make contact with a target among them. Find the target, extract the necessary intel. Is this clear enough for you, manager? How are we supposed to find this target if you're not even going to tell us who it is? Dante asks if there are any identifying characteristics to this target. I'm sure you'll find out when you get there. You're asking me questions I have no answers to, Dante. Don't waste your time. Well, off the bus all. I was somewhat wary of the way Virgilia sensed me, but even in murky situations like these, we've always managed to pull through anyway. I'm sure things will get a little clearer once we get there. I slowly disembark the bus with the rest of the sinners. They're very generous with giving away lunacy when you unlock new stuff. So we have 12 missions to burn through. The first thing we noticed the moment we disembarked the bus was a crowd of swordsmen all garbed in black cloaks engaged in a fierce battle. One side was loud and bustling while the other side was quiet and somber. Perhaps the latter side was losing. What could we possibly have to gain from this? We have no idea what's up ahead, so let's think about... Right. I need to do some party finagling here. Oh boy. So it looks like if we right, I remember about this. We get bonuses to our rewards should we use Blade Lineage or Kurokumo classic characters. The thing is, all the new ones that we pull are going to be level 1. But that doesn't mean we only have those new ones to rely on. Who else? Who else? I can actually find out who we can use by going to the theatre. Because the identity archives give you the ability to sort out all the stories you have by the original world. And I believe that all of these will be in the same place. So we have Ryoshu, Honglu, Rodian, Yi Sang, Utis, and Blade Lineage Sinclair. You are just slightly underleveled for this. And so are you. Can we give you a few level tweaks? People agree that this is not a very good identity, but it's giving us a bonus event currency, so what else can we fall back on? Blade lineage.
고래를 향해
수금할 시간이야.
검은 갈아뒀다.
명령이라면 망설임 없이.
The upside is that we don't need to deploy them in battle to get the bonuses. We just need to have them somewhere on the somewhere on the roster. So let's go. Let's see what we have to deal with. That one's headed your way, Aniki. Don't worry about me. I'll handle him. Try not to get yourself killed. You got that? What a mess. We walked out of the bus and right into what appeared to be a battlefield of a violent gang war. Black cloaks flutter under the grey sky, and bloodthirsty blades clash violently. The bus had stopped not even 30 paces away from the thick of battle. The Kurokumo clan? Kurokumo clan. I've heard of them before. I'm sure we had some identities from that syndicate. Some identity cards said Wakashu too. They're a pretty large subsidiary of an even larger syndicate called the Thumb. I think their identities wore outfits similar to the ones they're wearing here. I think you're right, but who are they fighting? It's gotta be Strife. Heathcliff replied in a monotone voice, like he was ready for reading from an encyclopedia. It ain't a rare sight to see syndicates fighting one another in the back streets. Must be something about the street tax or some other trivial turf dispute. Leeches. Blood-sucking curs seeking to oppress and exploit the weak with violence. Fie, there is nary a place these scum do not infest. It ain't anything new, lass. Most syndicates are like that. The only difference between them is how far they're willing to go. Like, right there he is. Bloke's like that one over there, the one walking right at us. Heathcliff raised his bat and pointed it at the approaching man. Hang on. Heathcliff didn't get anything new from this event. That's kind of interesting. They gave, when they did the previous seasonal event okay, before the Christmas one, I mean, they actually gave Ishmael a very good identity for farming in it, but not here. He wore the same outfit as the other Kurokumo clan members. The hell are you looking at? Ground like you're here to start shit. Gonna keep pointing that bat at me? You wanna go? Is that it? Hey, lower your weapon. Let's not do anything rash. No need to escalate this further, is there? Ludus stepped in to warn Heathcliff, but he didn't budge. He remained motionless, the bat still raised and pointed threateningly at the approaching man. Won't matter what we do here. It's a foregone conclusion that we're going to have to fight him. Right on, lad. They're in the middle of a strife. They'll be real sensitive about making it clear that this is their turf. What better way to do it than to forcing some unwitting travellers to pay the toll for the road? Looks like we got a smart one here. The Kurokumo clan henchman strutted before us like he owned the place. Just as I began to wonder how dumb you could possibly be, you show your shrewd detective side. Gotta say, it's a real mystery. Ishmael muttered at Heathcliff, who was shrugging at us with an expression that clearly read, "I told you so." Well, since it looks like you clowns already know how this works, let me get straight to the point. The toll is 500,000 on per person. 500,000 on? Let's see here. 1, 2, right. I count 13 of you here. Since you guys all rode in on a bus, I'm sure there's a drive in there too. Don't you skimp out on us now. I'd like it if we didn't have to make this business messy by going through the bus ourselves. Did you hear that, Dante? This is totally highway robbery. It kind of is, isn't it? Well, it didn't really matter how much they were asking for. I wasn't going to negotiate with them anyway. Ishmael turned and looked quietly in my direction. I nodded back. Halt! There in that field of battle! Don Quixote pointed at something. There lies a wounded dame. We must make haste and rescue her. Thou wouldst agree, no? Just as Don Quixote said, I could catch a glimpse of someone bleeding out on the ground through the chaos of the clashing blades and black cloaks. Boy, what did I say about this justice rubbish? This is a syndicate turf war, yeah? Nobody's more or less honourable than the other. Agreed. It is no complicated mathematics to expect unnecessary allied casualties in this effort should we involve ourselves in this conflict. Alas, I do not wish to leave her behind so undefended. I guess it's an improvement. In the early days of our adventures, we would have been dragged into this conflict 5 minutes ago thanks to Don Quixote's recklessly valiant rescue attempt. I suppose she's learned her lessons by trials of fire. She was starting to show strength for once. But it's a bit different this time. Okay, so I do think that we have to help that woman, but... Ooh! What? Manager? I didn't think that this was that nod was about. No, I'm not saying that we should get involved because it's the right thing to do or anything like that. If Virgilius was telling the truth earlier, there's a chance that we were purposefully made to drive right through this strife. Which means that there must be something here they're expecting us to find. They always put us in danger's way for a reason, after all. I just have a feeling that the wounded woman might have something to tell us. Maybe an intel of some kind. And if it turns out that we were supposed to get that intel from the Kurokumo clan and not that woman, then I suppose we'll have to beat it out of them. Oh. Marvelous, Executive Manager. I, Utis, am actually awestruck by your genius. Actually? Well, is she implying her usual flattery is phony? I don't like the way you're treating the Kurokumo clan like we're some pack of stray dogs. I don't think I missed that sympathetic look you gave her, which could only mean that you clowns are chummy with the Blade lineage. I could practically hear our negotiations, not that I was going to negotiate, falling apart as the man drew his blade. A rational deliberation followed by a sensible decision. I will return my appreciation for your magnificent leadership with a flawless victory. All units, prepare for battle! So, let's see how poorly me grabbing whatever I have lying about from the Blade lineage for this one round. Okay, they are slash weak, but they appear to be slash focused. Slash slash slash. Yep, this is about what I'd expect from Kurokumo. Except for the slash weakness, but I think that's to make the new identities worth it. Ooh, damn. We should not have brought you along. So yeah, this is not going to end well for Sinclair, but I'm having him use a defense skill because I don't want to give him that slash power up next turn. The downside is that's a pierce resistance, so we might have to do some shuffling between fights. Oh, actually, you didn't do a very good job there. I guess the guy just rolled tails because he didn't win any clashes. So just pointing out that Blade Lineage Yi Sang is actually the identity they give you for free at the start of the game, a free 3-star identity. It took till up to 4 till he got good, but he definitely got good.
건 즐겁네요.
저놈을 추적해. 총원 불격. 기세가 수그러지는군. 반격의 기회다. 잘했군. 한 놈도 남지 않을 때까지 지금을 반복한다. 쉴 새는 없다.
What's your sanity effects? At low morale, you gain damage up, but fragile to compensate. Okay, we can work with that.
망설임이 없도록. 배워냈어요.
Oh, they're also level 40, so we're slightly underleveled, but not far enough that we'll be struggling heavily, I'd say. Oh. Who wants to see Honglu's best ego in action? The downside is that it's 6 enemies, all with 2 skill slots, so we're slightly behind on the action economy. Hang on, where's the extra attack going? Okay, so he is going to hit that guy on the far right. We should be safe this turn. Also, we have a lot of pride resonance.
거치적거리지만 마.
It's got to be so confusing for the guys. Wait, aren't you supposed to be on our side? Except no, they probably saw him turn into a Kurokuma henchman, so they know better. You know, we actually didn't get to see Blade Lineage Sang in any of the Mirror Dungeon runs because unfortunately he's part of the Bleed team, but he doesn't have... He's supposed to show up only when you... what's the word I'm looking for? He's only a part of the... He's only good if you get the Poise gift for the Mirror Team run, and we just didn't get that. Boost crit hit chance by 25 times 5% for the next 15 hits. Safe to say Yi Sang isn't going to need to be critting anytime soon. Oh wait, that's Lust? I always thought that was Gloom. You learn something new every day. Yeah, it wasn't the best team thrown together on short notice, but it gets the job done. SAD. Or bark no bite. Truly a disappointment. While the rest of the sinners were slowly recovering from the excitement of battle, Don Quixote did not waste a second before bolting forth to the woman's side. Hark! Art thou? I must check her pulse. Oh, you can check her pulse through her forehead? Didn't know that was possible. The lady lives! So this lass has the intel we need? The sinners one by one began to gather around the woman. She was dressed in an all-black garb like the Kurokuma clan members, but her weapon and her outfit were unmistakably distinct. Blade lineage, huh? I looked around at the defeated Kurokuma clan members, then back at her. The difference became even more apparent. Don Quixote slowly and tragically shook her head after checking the pulse on the others. Executive Manager, I have questioned some Kurokuma clan members during the battle, but no notable intelligence has been gained. So it's just her then. I hope my gut feelings prove me right. The lady doth appear to be the sole survivor. We must move her to the bus and administer first aid post-haste. What does the general say to that? Yeah, don't see any other way. We don't carry any first aid with us, and I can't turn the clock to heal her, so... Mersault, do you mind carrying her back to the bus? I do not. Thus we made our way back to the bus, Mersault carrying the dying Blade lineage member. I see you've hauled in another baggage. Virgilius didn't seem very happy about this. Manager, since when did bringing in unauthorized, unverified guests into our bus become such an acceptable practice? We had no choice. We have to save her first if we're going to get any answers out of her. Dante explains that this individual will be of no use to us deceased. If she carries the intel we need, we must first ensure that she survives. On that, Faust agrees with Dante's decision. The thing is, Faust is the actual one running the show. Virgilius might seem like the leader in charge, but he's just the guide to make sure that if we ever do actually get out of our depth, then he can cut in to fix everything up. Faust is the one who convinced him to aid us. Yeah, what's done is done. However, do be mindful of bringing in strangers onto this bus from now on, Dante. I had a feeling that Virgilius had much more to say than that, but he simply sighed and dropped the subject. Well, I believe that Manager Esquire has made a decision most just. Thanks. Just as I was starting to dread that this bus was doomed to be eternally uncomfortable, Yi Sang emerged from the back door with the good news. I have done what I can. Now... And before he even finished his sentence... The woman was awake. We'll find out what she has to say next time. Because let's face it, after doing the Christmas event, wouldn't you want to see how the rest of Heathcliff's story unravels? So, for a first time bonus we get 45 scabbards, and 22 scabbards we get extra lunacy and some training tickets. Ooh, who out of all this would I want to throw out some extra training tickets to? I feel like you're the one that's going to have the most trouble keeping up. Oh! I'm dumb. I thought that Sinclair was in deep trouble, and he kind of was, but he's ineffective to slash. It cancels out his wrath weakness. Anyway, until next time guys, take care. I'll see you all around.
우유는 가능하면 차를 잔에 붓기 전에 검의 흐름을 보면 간혹 그것이 무술이라기보단 예술 같다는 생각이 들지 않나요? 흐름이 끊기지 않게 유려히 하늘 위를 도화지 삼아. 아, 이런. 잠시 상상에 취해버렸군요.